Questioning Everything with Garrett and Adam.
Even something like UBI is creepily universal basic income, creepily Marxist.
How does that work even?
It's just the whole idea, though, that the government's responsibility is to take care of you and should be providing for you
a basic income, but then you could still go out and work, though, right?
You're like a child now with an allowance. Yeah, you can go to work, and here's your allowance.
You can go to work, but you also get an allowance. Isn't that how it works? Or is
Absolutely.
That's kind of cool, though, isn't it? Like if I get $1,000 every 2 weeks plus I go to work,
I don't know.
I can afford shit.
I don't agree that it's cool.
Why?
Well, because
where does that money come from, though?
That's
where are they
the
going to
problem.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I don't understand.
That's the problem. So
don't we go into debt?
The whole idea is that it's a redistribution of funds. Where
okay,
it's like,
so that's what we're talking. So this is what I'm saying. So those massive dudes with the big houses and the giant jets and all the girls, the $1,000 a week comes from them.
Well, that's
every 2 weeks.
That's where it comes from anyway, right? The difference is that I would want it to be coming from them from a reasonable and fair means, whereas
what's
the distribution
fair means to you?
Like just an income tax. You pay income tax, it's a reasonable income tax, right?
Well, they don't get taxed as much as we do, which is fucked, right?
I personally happen to agree.
With that?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can't tax the rich, apparently, based on some of the things. I was watching some...
Well, the problem is that the more money you make, the more you can pay an accountant to find you tax loopholes, but also the more tax loopholes you qualify for, which isn't necessarily the worst thing. But in my utopia, everybody would pay a flat tax rate, and that would be it.
And then the rich would pay the poor $1,000 every 2 weeks.
No.
That's my utopia.
Yeah, it's because you want the $1,000, and that's.
Well, I'm gonna go work too, though. I'm gonna go work as well.
Where the population gets sucked into it, right? Is like the first thing that any wise person should be weary of is somebody who offers you your money back, right?
Okay, sorry, say that again. I interrupted you.
Somebody you should be looking out for is somebody who offers you your money back. As a voter, you are paying taxes for a good reason. We have welfare, right? I'm okay with, say, increasing welfare, quadruple it, literally, right? So that
then you're gonna get a lot of people
it benefits
that don't do
me.
Anything, man.
You go, really? I don't agree. I'm the conservative, and I literally don't agree with that. I don't agree that abuse is prevalent enough to not help people.
Okay, wait, what?
I don't think that abuse is prevalent enough to not help people.
What kind of abuse?
Well, you just said that people will do nothing, or
I feel that so I feel like if you tripled welfare is like $750 a month, dude. It's fucking astronomically low.
Yeah.
So if you quadrupled it, I feel that there is a percentage of people that would just sit there and wither away on it.
Okay, so what about UBIs 2,000? So what if you trip UBIs 2,000?
What's that?
Universal basic income.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So that's what they're basically suggesting is 2,000. So if everybody got 2,000 a month, then that's really barely lower.
I'm saying, well, with universal, it's the same thing as universal basic income. Like, obviously, if you give people that kind of
nobody can live off UBI though.
Pardon me?
Nobody can live off UBI.
Well, no one
so you're not making anybody any lazier. My opposition to UBI is in that now everybody's going to be lazy.
I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying that you start giving free money to people. There's going to be
free money.
Well,
start giving their money back to them in ways that are manipulative and coercive, so that you're really fooling them. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's really it. And so that you're forming a different type of a relationship rather than free people who are independent and who are expected to be self-sufficient with a safety net just in case if you do slip, because we all slip and you need a safety net. And I'm okay with social programs, but again, I prefer to triple welfare and redefine EI and not even humor something like UBI, because UBI is, again, it's a difference, but it's not. It's the difference in relationship. UBI says that the government is responsible for you as a person and that they have to give you this money as an allowance, right?
Okay.
Once the government's responsible for you as a person, it's like a guardianship. Right.
Okay.
You know what guardians get to do? They get to decide things for you.
I guess. Well, does that mean you sign a contract saying that, okay, if I get this...
People who need it probably will.
But so
if you don't need it,
EI,
then it's not going to affect you.
So you're saying not everybody would be on EI then? You're saying triple, you'd say quadruple the welfare?
Of course.
No, so you'd have to still apply for these things.
You'd still have to apply for EI. You'd still have to apply for welfare. Yeah.
How long would you be getting it for?
And then you wouldn't be wasting also money on wealthy people, because if you get $1,000 and I get $1,000, it goes straight back into the economy. Instantly.
Because you're going to spend it.
You're going to spend it.
Toothpaste.
If a person that makes $450,000 gets an extra $1,000, then that just means that they buy an extra $1,000 of stocks. It goes straight into their portfolio. Because they don't need that money. They're not going to spend it. It's not going to be like, oh no, they could have gotten everything they wanted anyway. No, it just goes into their portfolio.
So the rich people get universal.
And you have to give it to rich people as well. Otherwise, it's really strange. Like it's
why
not universal.
Once you're up past a certain amount of, like, I don't know. So it just really wouldn't work. Like I make $5 million a year,
but it's a relationship.
$5 million a year. So now that I'm capped out at $5 million or $1 billion a year. Let's say.
Why would you cap somebody?
I'm just saying. So anything above that goes to so that rich dude doesn't get his UBI check.
The reason why that wouldn't work is that anybody who made a lot of money would leave your country. I'm not kidding.
They do. That's what they do anyway. Kidding. I mean, that's what people they leave anyway.
A lot of the money that people make in the history of, in the like 21st century has been rooted to places like the Cayman Islands because of tax laws, right? Well, when the U.S. is like, we need to tax everybody at 75%, they're really only taxing like the lowest margin of that tax bracket, whereas all the highest margin, they're going to figure out a way to get the money out of the tax system. Okay, so rather than pay the tax.
Do you believe, what do you think? You think people should be making like Bill Gates, for example? The guy makes he's just worth trillions.
Yep.
Advertisement loading.
Hey guys, don't turn the podcast off because we're just going to talk to you a little bit about Patreon.
Yeah.
We've got a Patreon because we have to commercialize this podcast. Somehow, we got to eat more than ramen one day.
And coffee, straight coffee all day.
And if you love the content and you want to support the podcast, then why don't you join us on Patreon? And the link is in the description. And you can become a champion.
A warrior.
Not a warrior, but a...
I screwed that one up.
Get up and I'm sad to fat.